Hey, how are you? Come on. You ready? Okay. So I think, hey, Blondell? Where is your, so,
Let me get that done right.
yeah. Cindy Bass, you have a program? Speakers?
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
We'll be doing that.
Okay, great. Oh, so you're, so I think.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can't be tired.
I would call it in some ways historic day this is for our city, and I've just recently learned maybe for the country that we have taken a step in elevating again and trying to level the playing field for women in the country. So I thank you first of all for fitting us into your demanding schedule and joining us as we mark this important milestone on behalf of women. I also want to salute and say a huge thank you to the mayor for hosting this ceremony, because he is very selective in where he spends this kind of time, and so his presence today sends a clear signal to us that he cares very, very much about this issue. So travel with me for a moment back in time, and we're all under a clock, and so my remarks are not at all lengthy. March 2012, I was not what I call a happy camper. I had just read a report about the shockingly low level of female participation on boards, which was led by the leadership and membership of the Forum of Executive Women, and shortly thereafter read a very disturbing editorial column written by Pat Coulter, the leadership at the Urban League of Philadelphia. Clearly, there was an assault on women's rights that seemed to be coming from all levels of government across the country. The governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania had recently told women who were concerned about mandatory invasive ultrasounds that they should just close their eyes. And a certain radio entertainer thought it appropriate to call a Georgetown College student a slut when she testified in favor of insurance-covered contraception. That was very, very stinging for me, if you saw that clip. As a result, I called for the hearings to investigate how to increase the number of women on executive boards and in leadership positions across the city, to increase the number of women seated at the tables where major decisions are made. In far too many cases, just to get executive board seats to have women at the table has been a monumental task. And I learned working in Harrisburg, my short, quick backstory, they're working for former State Senator Fattah. There were 50 state senators. 46 did not look like me, 2 were African American, and 2 were women. And that picture painted and illustrated for me what happens when women are not at the table. Further, by requiring, our new bill will require city contractors to put in writing the number of women serving on executive boards and in leadership positions, where we now will have the ability to measure and track our level of success. I learned early in my career that if it is not in writing, it does not exist. I recently read a report from Deloitte, a company that gets it on the topic of gender equity. They've been ahead of the curve, and in 1992 founded what they call the Women's Initiative with the goal of advancing and retaining women in executive board seats. They said it first, what gets measured is what gets done. Today's bill signing is the result of action taken over the last year and a half by a breadth of stakeholders who were so authentic in volunteering their time. Pat Coulter, president of the Urban League of Philadelphia, Autumn Baylis, VP for Global Operational Excellence at Aramark and a member of the Forum of Executive Women, Angela Dow Burton, who represented the mayor and is our executive director for the Mayor's Office of Economic Opportunity, Shalimar Blakely, the executive director of the African American Chamber of Commerce, Vicki Kramer, we thank you, president of the 30% Coalition, Terry Gillen, who I had many, many offline conversations about, who currently serves as Director for Federal Affairs for our city, Judith Van Zelnick, founder and chairman of the Diversified Search, Denise Early, formerly of the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. We had a breadth of women. Varsovia Fernandez of the Greater Philadelphia Hispanic Chamber, Melanice Shaw, President and CEO of Maven, Terry Dean, former Senior VP of Verizon, who took the time and came to those hearings and meetings. Patty Connolly of Drexel University, we thank you for being here. Emma Sabine, VP for Advisory Service for Partnerships Catalyst. Julie Hawkins, who's also here representing Drexel University. Bill Marazzo, President and CEO of WHYY, had a few things to say about that topic as well. Janice Salter, CPA of Mercy Douglas. James Christie, editor and associate publisher of Directors and Boards. And if you have not read that publication, how insightful it is. They sat with us, talked with us, and helped us craft through this process. So in closing, allow me to offer a quote that I think sums it up perfectly. It is past time for women to take their rightful place side by side with men in the rooms where the fates of people, where their children and grandchildren's lives are decided. I could not agree more with this author, First Lady, Senator, Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. We thank you, Mr. Mayor, very, very much for bringing us together, and know that we don't take it for granted. Let's welcome, please, our mayor. No, you're not, but you're going to introduce them.
Thank you. Thank you and good afternoon. And I do have some remarks, but not right at this moment. I am doing as directed. I am the MC for this afternoon. First up, we're going to have Nyla Bedoff, who is the Chief Operating Officer, the Leaders Edge, Leaders by Design, and President of the Forum of Executive Women. Nyla?
Thank you. Well, this is certainly a great day, right? The Forum of Executive Women congratulates Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown and City Council on the passage of this bill. We too see this as a very important step in having more women on corporate boards and increasing the diversity of the boards. We supported this bill in the beginning, and we will continue our support as we move along. We want to thank you as well, Mayor Nutter, for your support and also for your support of the forum. Thank you.
Irene Hannon, Senior Vice President, Healthcare, Not-for-Profit, Professional Banking at Citizens Bank.
Well, I asked where the champagne was, and I was told it wasn't in the mayor's budget. So, I'm very happy to be here. I've been part of this initiative, I think, for my entire life, and most recently in conjunction with Blondell in trying to move this issue to the forefront in City Council and in the office of the mayor. So it is a great day for us, and I'm very happy to be supportive. I'm also a past president of the Forum of Executive Women, where this remains a very important and significant initiative for us. I want to thank Blondell for her vision and also for her courage in taking this issue on and bringing the attention to it that it deserves and getting it done. We've been waiting a long time to have measurable, achievable goals around diversity and participation in corporate suites and in corporate boards, and we are getting there now, thanks to all the hard work. The mayor has been a wonderful ally. He speaks often on this topic in many different settings, and he was a very big part of our collaboration to see this bill become law. So I want to thank him as well, and thank all of you who came to show us your support. Thank you.
And Regine Metellus, CPA, Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, the Urban League of Philadelphia. Regine?
Good afternoon. I know I just have a few seconds, so I'll be brief. It is my pleasure to stand here and to give greetings on behalf of Pat Coulter, our president, and to represent the Urban League of Philadelphia on this issue. Blondell Reynolds Brown, Councilman Blondell Reynolds Brown is actually a graduate of our first Leadership Institute class, along with Mayor Nutter, Vincent Hughes, and several others that we were just mentioning. So we are always, always, always very proud to support our alumni. We're even prouder to support our alumni when the issues that they're supporting really fit in well with the issues that we're supporting. And this really goes to the core of our mission. The issue of corporate diversity on boards is really key for us because as an organization, as we seek to promote the economic parity within the city, making sure that there is diversity on corporate boards has a direct impact on the business policies that either promote economic parity or deny economic parity. So for us, we see this as a critical issue. It's an issue that we've been very vocal on. Councilwoman Brown already mentioned the article, the op-ed that Pat Coulter had done a few years ago, really speaking out to urban outfitters, lack of diversity on the corporate board. We've done reports, we've done interviews. Again, it's an issue that is very near and dear to our hearts and something we will continue to speak out on. Specifically with this bill 130547, we see that as a critical first step because it really speaks to the issue of accumulating the information. I mean, it's a critical first step because either as the City of Philadelphia or as individual citizens, we really can't make informed decisions until we have the data. So really getting the data is the first step. We are looking forward to future endeavors to promote corporate diversity. And we can congratulate Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown, all of her colleagues in City Council, as well as Mayor Nutter. Thank you.
And so I think next is Councilwoman Tasco and Councilwoman Cindy Bass. I think they may not have actually known that, but they do now. So go on.
Good afternoon, everyone. So glad to see you here. We come here, at least I did, I'm sure she did, to be supportive of our colleague, Blondell Reynolds Brown. She is a hard-working council person, and she cares about this city, she cares about its citizens, and even more, she cares about women. And so I just want to congratulate her on this bill, and certainly she had a council who was in agreement with her, didn't have any objection to supporting and passing this legislation. We thank the mayor for his support and leadership, and we now have to monitor. We have to monitor and see that the job gets done. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Blondell. Keep up the good work. You're doing a fine job, and we support you and will always support you. Thank you.
I want to ditto. Say ditto. But also, I just want to add, to the Councilwoman, this is so important for so many different reasons. And from a personal standpoint, as the mother of a 4-year-old daughter, I know that you have a daughter. And so, particularly for the next generation moving forward, this is so very important. And so, as the Councilwoman said, now we have to pay attention and make sure that it gets done so that the aspirations that my mother had for me for opportunities that did not exist for her don't continue beyond this day. And so it's very, very important. And I just really want to thank you for our next generation. Thank you.
Let me also recognize that Councilman Bill Greenlee is here. Councilman. And Councilwoman Janie Blackwell has joined us. Thank you very, very much. To all the speakers, and I know Angela was mentioned a little while ago, and I came in with Lynette Brown-So, Vice President over at Community College, Chair of the Board of the Philadelphia Housing Authority. I am fortunate that I know almost everyone in this room. And I've had a great opportunity over time to work with so many of you on so many different things. Our City Commissioner, Stephanie Singer, is here as well. I want to recognize her. And to the few, the brave, the strong, the men who were able to make it here today, we commend you for your strength and your wisdom. Can we give it up for the guys who are here with us today? My wife would certainly be at an event like this. She is out of town in New York. She is an active participant in the Clinton Global Initiative, so she's in New York City today, but bring greetings on behalf of Lisa, President of course, Philadelphia Academies. This bill is another step forward in promoting women and minorities to be in leadership positions with companies that do business with the city, and I'll have some additional comments about that in a few minutes. My administration and me personally, we strongly support increasing the number of women, minorities, and Philadelphia residents on corporate and nonprofit boards across the region, and especially in the corporate sector. We've done a few things over the past couple years to support women and minorities. All contracts with nonprofit organizations include a provision requiring that the nonprofits identify the race, gender, and disability status and ethnic composition of its board of directors and workforce already. The city's labor standards unit is piloting a program that captures certified payroll data and the minorities and women on construction projects. The Office of Economic Opportunity, again headed by Angela, supports women and minorities as they aspire to improve our economy at every level with the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. The city has awarded over $320 million to women-owned businesses and $446 million to minority-owned businesses during the last 4 years. And I believe the most recent report that came out from OEO showed overall minority, female, and disabled businesses now getting 28% of city work, which I believe is an all-time high record for the city of Philadelphia since we've been tracking that in the 80s. From personal experience, as any good husband or I'd say boyfriend will tell you, women are a force to be reckoned with. I have two very strong ones at home. One of them is now in college. They are thoughtful leaders. They're consensus builders and creative problem solvers. I strongly believe that we clearly need more women in leadership roles here in Philadelphia and around the world. And I think if you look at the appointments that I have been able to make, the ones that are within the executive, you will find a quite diverse group of folks at all levels of leadership in the government and certainly on the boards and commissions that I have the opportunity to make appointments. I do want to commend again my friend and our leader here in Philadelphia on so many issues, Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown, on her efforts to elevate women and, of course, with some of the other activities that she's engaged in, a particular focus on younger women or girls, to elevate all of them to places of power and position to get stuff done. She not only seeks to understand the barriers that women face, but also takes action to take down and break down and knock down those barriers. And I believe I'm getting ready to get more direction from the Councilwoman as she comes over. Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. A couple of things, and then I have just some closing comments. I want to recognize, and I look forward to working with her on this great project coming up in a few years, and that's Lynn Yackel at Vision 2020. Please recognize Lynn. Philadelphia Bar Association was very smart in making their choice that Kathleen Wilkerson is leading the Bar Association. Kathleen, good seeing you. And Senator Casey is a smart one, as he was smart enough to ask Cheryl Bullock to come and work with him. Cheryl, thank you very, very much. Just a couple last things for me, and then I will jump over to sign the bill. First, every now and then you see something that grabs your attention, and I'm not much for bringing props to class. I probably should have done more of that when I was in school. Who knows where I would be today. But on the July-August Black Enterprise is right on the subject point. It's power in the boardroom, leading America's largest corporations and 75 major companies that don't have any black directors. And so this is particularly focused on minorities, but if you happen to get a copy, it's on page, dog-eared the thing and everything. 82, article entitled, "Where Are the Black Directors?" And then there's a pretty decent list of companies, many of whose names you would recognize, that have no people of color on their boards. And I would expect that, as Councilwoman Tasco said, it is all about the monitoring. And I would expect that in the course of the next year or so, as we get all this information together, we will certainly be reporting out who does and who doesn't. We're working with Councilwoman on, I think, some technical amendments with regard to the legislation, and one of the areas that I'll have a particular focus on is not only, of course, women, but also what's going on the person of color side in terms of folks on these boards. I have some other thoughts and ideas about things that we can do with companies at the moment. Of course, we're asking for reporting. I can envision a point in time where this issue will get raised to another level, which is about your qualifications to do business with the City of Philadelphia. And let me also say, as much as I've tried to be a part of this effort, I will stand here and tell you today that I have more work to do myself, and certainly our administration, but on a personal level, I want to be that much more actively engaged and involved, and at the same time, wanted to support what the Councilwoman was doing, and there's enough room in this town for a number of us to do different things, but I never want to step in an area where she was already working. We're working in partnership. There is more to do, and I have some pretty strong feelings about the kinds of things that we should be doing here in Philadelphia, and certainly working with the Forum of Executive Women, the Urban League, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and a number of other partners. I expect that we will seek to monitor some of our, some of our activities after other programs that we know are working. In Kansas City, there's something called the Win-Win Project, and there are a number of other models out there, and Vicki Kramer has just been tremendous to work with, and I want to ask that we give Vicki another big, big round of applause. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go over here and sign the legislation, take care of that, and then I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that folks may have about this, although I'm unfortunately going to have to leave the room very, very soon. There is a conference call on the Affordable Care Act with President Barack Obama, of which I'm a participant on that call, but I wanted to make sure that we took care of this business. If there are other questions that the media might have, I'd ask you, other than about this, because I don't want to mix issues, I'd be glad to talk to you around the corner, but I only want to talk about this issue while I'm here in this room. That's how important it is. So I'm going to go over here. Mic is on. There we go. All right. Yeah, you got to get in the shot. This is bill number 130457, entitled "Prerequisites to Execution of City Contracts by Requiring Contractors Seeking to Do Business with the City to Disclose Certain Demographic Information, including gender, race, and demographic data of those serving as board members and executive staff, all under certain terms and conditions." This is the law of the City of Philadelphia.
Bravo. Very good. Very, very good. I think you'll find it very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We have more work to do. Yeah, I just didn't want to.
Hopefully we'll be able to make some progress.
Yes.
How many contractors altogether would be affected by this?
Probably best to talk to somebody like Angela or something like that. But